Good evening friends, welcome to the channel of Ripple's Nature Inspired Aquarium. This is Gautam Gupta. Today we are going to talk about a very important aspect of Nature Aquarium, that is trimming. Okay? If trimming is not done properly in a Nature Aquarium, slowly the plants gets completely overgrown. Okay? And the scape which you wanted to create will lose the objective. It will look very haphazard. So, in this video is to focus on the different aspects of trimming. Now, trimming is a big subject. What we are going to do in this video is that you can see this aquarium here. Okay, plants are completely overgrown. So, we'll show you how it is looking before we start the trimming. Then we'll do the trimming. We'll cover a few aspects about Caesar, and then finally after the trimming how the tank looks, we'll show that. Okay, that's what this video is all about. The first point that you must note is that you should not allow the plants to come to the top of the aquarium, okay, like it has happened here. If it comes to the top, then the flow gets hampered and algae will come. You should never allow the plants to come to the surface, okay. So that's one aspect, lack of trimming. Second, this tank was to have a pathway here, okay. We had created the thing to show a river flowing down between two mountains, but then again the plants have come all here, all over. The rotala has kind of invaded, so the white sand is not at all visible. So the tank's concept is completely gone. Third point, if you look at here this clump of rotalas, it has come almost again to the surface and they are of the same height. So the dimensional aspect of the aquascape is completely gone. Okay, so the beauty, if the plants come here, it's actually the complete depth is gone. Fourth aspect, you look at here, the Hemianthus cuba clump. Because trimming was not done regularly, so the plants have come up. The buoyancy is making the plants come up, and the complete thing. So the beautiful carpet that was formed is now completely gone. Okay, so these are the pitfalls if you don't do the trimming from time to time. So before I start the trimming, I would like to talk a little bit about scissors. Now, trimming equipment is a big topic. This video is not for that, but I would just like to touch upon a few areas. Okay, first, if you see the scissor, this is an ADA trimming scissor, large. It's quite a big scissor. Okay, it is important to see that there is a chamfer here. There is a chamfer. This kind of gives a very fine cut to the plants. The tissue damage is limited. So this is one aspect, that you must have a very sharp scissor, okay, whatever might be the brand. Second, this is a curved scissor. You can see the curve. This curved scissor is very important to trim carpet plants. So we will be using a curved scissor for the carpet plants. Third point, many people think that if you have a tall tank, like we have a 2-foot tank here, you need a largest scissor. Actually, it's quite the opposite. For tall tanks, the small scissors are best to trim because you get a better control. Okay, don't go for a very large scissor if you want to trim a deep tank. So these are three things that I wanted to touch upon. We will do a video later on details about the scissors and what are the good and bad qualities of a scissor. Okay. The cutting has been completed now, okay, the trimming. Few things that needs to be noticed is that when you are doing a massive trimming, just don't do it in a haphazard fashion. So what we have tried to do, keeping the final aquascape in mind, we have also trimmed it. So for example, the plants in that zone has been trimmed in this angle because of these two rocks. So when they grow, they should be actually touching the rock, these two rock heads, and so that it creates a smooth curve. Similarly here, okay, it should create a contour, it should make a flow. So the plants should actually flow with this contour. So that needs to be kept in mind. The other thing that has happened is that because the plants were taken out and the trimming was not done for quite some time. So you can see that while they took out, there are the team, they did this cutting, the entire sand and soil, everything has got mixed. So to give the the scape a good look, we'll put in some sand. Okay, before we start adding the sand, I wanted to also give a few tips about what you need to do after you do a plant cutting. Okay, again I will repeat, I will be showing some products, doesn't necessarily mean that only those products are good, but you can do any products, but these steps are important. You can take any products for that matter. Okay, first is, once you have trimmed the plants, I talked about the scissors, that the scissors should be sharp so that the plant damage is very less. But no matter what scissor you use, there will be definitely there will be tissue damage in the plants. So the plants will take some time to recover. They are under stress because you have cut them. Okay, so here what we do after we do the plant trimming for next 4-5 days, okay, till the new shoots come up, new leaves come out, we use a product from ADA called Green Gain Plus. Okay, Green Gain is nothing but it contains cytokinin hormone and lot of amino acids which are extracted from seaweeds. Okay, also it has got boron. Okay, now boron, what it does, boron is a trace element. What it does is that it helps to form new shoots, and the the plant hormone helps the plant to recover from the stress so that it can start growing again very soon. So repeating again, after you do the trimming, please add Green Gain Plus or any other product that you like which contains a good hormone, okay, for the plants to recover quickly. That's point one. Second, typically before we have done the trimming, okay, before we have done the trimming, let's say we were putting fertilizer. Definitely after you have trimmed, okay, the plants are now under stress. Even if I am under stress, say let's say I am having a fever, okay, then I will not take the food like I was doing when I was not having fever. Similarly for plants. So you must be very careful about reducing your fertilizer dosage, because the plants will not take up the fertilizer, and if there is extra fertilizer in the tank, then what will happen? Algae will come, right? So two fertilizers specially, if you are using additional nitrogen and iron in your tank, definitely after trimming, okay, stop using it for some time or reduce it, because plants will not take it up immediately. Typically in planted tanks you must use more nitrogen, okay. Then what happens is that algae is sure to come, and iron also, okay. So definitely remember that after the plant trimming you must tune your fertilizer usage, you must reduce it accordingly till the plants have again grown, okay. So these are two things that I wanted to say. Now what we will do is that we will put some sand and make the scape look like what it was before, okay. That's what we are going to do now. We have to give sand in the aquarium, okay, so that we get that look of a river, okay. For that I am going to use this Colorado sand from ADA. So Colorado is from USA, many of us know, and it has got that characteristic reddish color, looks quite nice in the tank. We have added a layer of sand, okay. We showed couple of techniques of how do you add sand, when the tank is completely filled with water. Actually we should have brought the water down a little bit, my hand was getting wet, that's something. Other is to use that small cup or something, take the sand, hold it like this, put your water, hand under water, and then start pouring, otherwise it will get all over the place. So that way you know exactly where to put the sand, okay. So I would like to end the video with a small note that planted tank is all about discipline, okay. You must do your cutting regularly. If you don't do the cutting regularly, then the scape that you have in mind, that will totally get out of shape, like it happened here. So what we are trying to do now is that we are trying to revive the scape. But if you do a scape, trimming regularly, then the scape will remain the way you want it to be, okay. And then you can take your photographs and then you can put it for your own consumption or give it to competition, whatever else, okay. So this is another video in our maintenance series. Hope all of you have liked it. If so, again we request you to continue subscribing to our channel Ripple's Nature Inspired Aquarium. That would actually inspire us to make more contents which can help you with this fantastic hobby. Thank you.